Hey guys, my name is Atif and welcome to 31st part of Real Estate App Development Series. In this part, we will start implementing the logic to edit the property. So let's start by opening the project in Android Studio. First of all, in property details activity, come in the edit options function. When user click the edit option, we need to start the post add activity. For that, we will use the intent value. Name it as intent equal to intent. This will require two parameters. First parameter is the context and second parameter is the activity we want to start, that is post add activity. Also, we need to put the is edit mode, that is of type boolean. Intent dot put extra. Key name will be is edit mode and value will be true. When we started that activity to add a property, we have not passed this value, so the value will be false. In that case, the value is true. We also need to pass the property ID. Key name will be property ID for editing, and the value will be property ID. That is a variable of type string defined in class level and contains the ID of the property. This is the same property ID that we have used to load the property details. Now we will use the same in the post add activity to edit the property. Now we will start the activity using start activity, pass the intent as parameter. So far we have started the post add activity to edit the property. Open the post add activity class and create the variables that will hold those values. Let's start by creating a variable of type boolean private variable. Name it as is edit mode. The default value will be false. Similarly, we will create another variable of type string that will hold the property ID. Private variable. Name of the variable will be property ID for editing equal to empty string. We will initialize them in onCreate function. Let's start by initializing the is edit mode equal to intent dot get boolean extra. Type the key name. Instead of typing, we will copy it from the property details activity. Copy it and paste it here. In case of null, the default value will be false. Similarly, we will initialize the property ID for editing equal to intent dot get string extra. Copy the key from the property details activity, copy it and paste it here. In case of null, we need to provide the default value that will be an empty string. We have to do this because we have defined the variable as not nullable. Now we will show the values of this variable in logcat using log.t. First parameter is the tag and the second parameter is the message, including the isEdit mode. Similarly, we have created another log.t and as a second parameter, we have passed custom message including the property ID for editing. After that, we need to create a condition to check if we are here to add a property or to edit the property using the is edit mode. If is edit mode, this condition will be called if we are here to edit the property. In that case, we will change the text of the toolbar title text view, that will be update property. Similarly, we will also change the text of submit button, that will be update property. As statement will be called if we are here to add a new property. In that case, we will change the text of the toolbar title text view, that will be add property. Similarly, change the text of the submit button, that will be post property. The next step is to start loading the details of the property in case of edit mode, and we will do that in a separate function. So let's create that function in the last of this activity. Access of this function will be private function. Name of the function will be load property details. After creating the function, make sure to call this function inside the if statement, that is if is edit mode. In start of this condition, we will call that function load property details. Now come again in that function and create the instance of the Firebase database reference value. Name it as reference equal to Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference as a path pass properties. Since we need to get the details of a property, so we will pass the ID of that property using reference.child pass the property ID, that is property ID for editing. Right after that, we will add the value event listener using dot add value event listener object value event listener. This will require to implement two methods on data change and on cancel. On data change is the function in which we will get the details of the property. We will use the try catch block because this process might cause an exception. Value model property equal to snapshot.getValue. This will require a parameter of type class. So we will pass model property dot class. This is the model class to load the property details. Model property class should have the variable names with same spellings and data type as in Firebase real-time database. It should have an empty constructor and a parameterized constructor. That's it for the model property class. Now open the post add activity. Now the next step is to get the data from that instance of the model property class. Let's start from the property purpose value. Name it as purpose equal to model property dot purpose. In case of null, we will provide our default value empty string. Similarly, get the category of the property value category equal to model property dot category. After getting the category, we also need to get the subcategory of the property. Next, we will get the title of the property using model property dot title. Variable name will also title. Similarly, we will get the description of the property using model property dot description. After getting the description of the property, we will get the email that is saved in the property details. Variable name will also email. Okay, now we need to get the phone number that is divided into two parts, phone code and phone number. So let's start by getting the phone code of the phone number. Right after that, we will get the phone number, model property dot phone number, variable name will also phone number. Now next we need to get the address of the property using model property dot address, variable name will also address. After getting the address of the property, we need to get the area size that is divided into two parts, area size unit and area size. Area size unit is of type string, but area size is of type double. So we need to provide default value 0, 0.0 instead of empty string. Now we will get the number of floors of the property which is of type long. So in case of null, instead of default value 0, 0.0, we need to give default value 0. Similarly, we will get the number of bedrooms which is also of type long. That's why we have provided the default value 0. After getting the number of bedrooms, we need to get the number of bathrooms using model property dot bathrooms. Variable name will also bathrooms. This is also of type long. After that, we need to get the price of the property, which is of type double. Model property dot price. Variable name will also price. Since this is of type double, so we need to provide default value 0, 0.0. After getting the price of the property, we need to get the latitude and longitude of the property. Latitude equal to model property dot latitude. Provide the default value 0, 0.0. Similarly, we will get the longitude of the property. Model property dot longitude. Latitude and longitude are the variables that we have already defined in class level and are of type double. So far, we have got the data from the Firebase real-time database. Now we need to set it to the UI. So let's start by setting the purpose of the property. If purpose dot equals my utils dot property purpose cell, which is a constant defined in class level and contains the value cell. So this condition will be called if purpose of the property is cell. In that case, we will check the radio button property purpose cell using binding dot purpose radio button purpose cell radio button dot is checked equal to true. Similarly, we need to create another condition to check if property purpose is ran, else if purpose dot equals myutils dot property type rand, which is a constant defined in myutils class as a second parameter passed true, which will ignore the case. This condition will be called if the property purpose is rand. In that case, we will check the purpose rand radio button using binding dot purpose rand rb dot is check equal to true. So far, we have set the property purpose to UI. Now we need to set the category which is available as tab layout. If category dot equals myutils dot property types, which is an array of types string defined in myutils class that contains the property categories, for example, homes, plots, commercial. At the zeroth index, it contains the property category homes. So this condition will be called if property category is homes. In that case, we will select the tab item homes using binding dot property category tab layout dot set tab as a parameter. We will pass binding dot property category tab layout dot get tab at pass the index 0. Similarly, we will create another condition to check if property category is plots, else if category dot equals myutils dot property types pass the index 1 because at the index 1 it contains the category plots. This condition will be called if property category is plots. In that case, we will select the tab item plots, which is available at index 1. We need to create another condition to check if property category is commercial. MyUtils dot property types pass the index 2. Also, in finding dot property category tab layout dot get tab at pass the index 2. In first category, index will be 0. In second category, index will be 1. In third category, index will be 2. So far, we have set the property purpose and property category. Now we will set the property subcategory using finding dot property subcategory autocomplete text view dot set text pass the subcategory. Similarly, we will set the number of floors using finding dot floors edit text dot set text pass the floors. We have concatenated the floors in the string because in the editors we can only set the string and floors is not of type string. Similarly, we have set the number of bedrooms and number of bathrooms. After that, we need to set the area size of the property using binding dot area size edit text dot set text pass the area size. After setting the area size, we need to set the area size unit finding dot area size unit autocomplete text view dot set text pass the area size unit. We have not concatenated it into the string because it is already of type string. After setting the area size unit, we have set the address of the property. After setting the address, we have set the price of the property. Price is of type double, so we need to concatenate it in the string. Okay, now we need to set the title of the property using binding dot title edit text dot set text pass the title. Similarly, we will set the description of the property using binding dot description edit text dot set text pass the description. After setting the description, we need to set the email using binding dot email edit text dot set text pass the email. Now we need to set the phone number, which is divided into two parts, phone port and phone number. So let's start by setting the phone number. Phone number edit text dot set text pass the phone number. Now we will set the phone code, that is country code. Binding dot phone code text input layout dot text view selected country dot text equal to phone code. Now the next step is to get the images of the property that we can get from the snapshot, which is the parameter of onDataChain function. Let's define the instance of the database reference using that snapshot value. Reference image is equal to snapshot dot child as a path pass images dot reference. This is the reference of the images of the property. Now we will add the value event listener on that reference using reference images dot add value event listener object value event listener. This will require to implement two methods on data change and on cancel. On data change is the function in which we will get the images of the property. For that, we will create the for loop for ds in snapshot, which is the parameter of on data change snapshot.children. In the for loop, we will get the data of the property image that is divided into two parts, ID and image URL. So let's start by getting the ID of the image value ID equal to ds.child key name is id dot value. Similarly, we will get the image URL of the property image. Key name will be image URL. Variable name will also image URL. Now we will create the instance of the model image pic class value. Name it as model image pic equal to model image pic. This is the class that we have previously used to hold the images picked from camera or gallery. Now we will use the same to hold the images from the Firebase in case of we are editing the property. First parameter is the ID of the image, so pass the ID. Second parameter is the image URI. Since we are loading the image from the Firebase, so we will pass null. As a third parameter, we will pass the image URL that we have got from Firebase. Fourth parameter is from internet. We have passed value to because we have got the image from the Firebase. After that, we have added that model image pic instance to the image pic array list, which is an array list defined in the class level, which contains the images picked from camera, gallery, and now from the Firebase. After the for loop, we have called the function load images that will load the images. Now we also need to create the catch block to print the exception in logcat using log.e. First parameter is the tag, second parameter is the custom message, and the third parameter we have passed exception. Now we need to move to the next step, that is open the adapter image pic class. We need to load the image from the image URL. In case of images from Firebase, if model image pic dot is from internet, this condition will be called if the image is from the Firebase. In that case, we need to show the image from the image URL. For that, we have created the variable of type string with and image URL equal to model image pic dot image URL. The process of setting the image may cause an exception, so we have enclosed that in try block. Glide dot with pass context, call the function dot load, pass the image URL, then dot placeholder. Use the image that will be shown while the image is loading, that is image gray. In the end, we have called the dot into function. In that, we have passed the image view in which we want to show the image. In the catch block, we have created the log.e and pass the exception as third parameter. Create an else statement that will be called if the image is not from the internet, rather it is from the camera or gallery. In that case, we will set the image using the image URI. We will also move that code to try block, create the catch block. In the catch block, we will create a log.e. First parameter will be tag that we will create. Second parameter is a custom message. Third parameter is the exception we want to show in log tag. Now we will create the tag in class level, private value, name it as tag equal to adapter images tag. Now we will also show the image URL and image URI in log tag using log.d. First parameter is the tag, second parameter is the custom message, including the image URL. Similarly, we will show the image URI log.t. First parameter is tag. Second parameter is the custom message including the image URI. And with that, our code is now completed. In this part, we have shown the property details, including the images. Now run the app in an emulator or a real device. In the next part, we will continue implementing the logic to update the property. So in the next part, we will implement the logic to update the property details, property images. We will also implement the logic to remove the images from the image with array list. Also, there is an issue that is while adding the property, we have not saved the area size of the property. We will also fix it in the next part. Did you know that more than 80% of the viewers have not subscribed my channel? If you are one of them, kindly subscribe it to support my content because it takes a lot of time and effort. Okay, while the app is running, copy the tag, open the logcat and paste the tag here. So it will show only those logs which are printed using this tag. When the app runs successfully from the property list, open a property that is added by a currently logged in user, then click edit. This will open the property details and it will show the property details that were set previously. Make sure that it should show all property details, including the property images. Go back and click Profile. Click Post a Property. Since now we are here to add a property, that's why the title is Add Property. Okay, enough for now. We will continue from here in next part.